Let's take a look out. I hope I wasn't muted. Let's try this again. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Big Red 1967's beginning Windmill. Hooray! This is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. We are live from Twitch. Check out my channel, the Big Red 1967. I'm also up on YouTube. But we're going to try to finish this windmill. The design is by Destructive Burn, and I believe it's called a Aberdorian Baron windmill. And we're going to try to get that finished today, if at all possible. And let's knock out the National Day calendar real quick, and we'll get started. So sorry for getting late up here, but my Xbox had an update, and not just for any game, it was for the Xbox itself. So I had to wait for that done, and then I always try to pick a good GIF for my post about getting started for the day. So, all right, here we go, folks. So let's go over the National Day calendar. Today is April 23rd. If you're born today, like my friend, my school friend from high school years ago, Dan, I almost said his full name. You know who I'm talking about, Mr. Dan. Salute to you and your family, and happy birthday. And to the rest of you, happy birthday. Today is April 23rd. You born this day. You share your birthday with the 15th President of the United States, born this day, 1791, James Buchanan. Also, winner of the first American Academy of Poets Award, born this day, 1852, Edwin Markham. He won that in 1937. Granville Woods, born this day in 1856, self-taught engineer and inventor who had held at least 90 patents, including the patent for telegraphs for railroads. Granville Woods, born this day 1856. Dorian Lay, born this day 1917, considered one of the first supermodels. Shirley Temple, the actress, born this day 1928. She was known for her song on the good ship Lollipop. But you'll remember if you go on YouTube, check out Shirley Temple. She is a very well-known child actress, and she eventually became an adult actress. She always partnered with Andy Rooney, who played the voice of Santa Claus in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. All those famous Rankin and Bass holiday specials. Andy Rooney voiced those. His co-star for a lot of those shows back in the 40s and 50s was Shirley Temple, and she was born this day in 1928. She went on to become the U.S. ambassador to Africa. Also, Annie Easley or Easley, Easley, born this day in 1933, black female computer scientist and mathematician who made critical contributions to NASA's rocket systems. More than likely, she was also part of that crew of African American female mathematicians who are honored in the movie Hidden Figures. And if you get a chance to check that movie out, definitely go check it out. It's an excellent, excellent movie. Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man, the actor who played the $6 Million Man, born this day, 1939. Love that shit. I grew up with the 6 million. I love that, especially the one where he went against the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Incredible. Got to check out $6 Million Man. It's corny today standards, but back then it was the thing. It was the schnizzle. Michelle Lynn, born this day 1941, co-founder of New Line Cinema. Ray Tomlinson, born this day 1941, computer programmer who implemented the first email program, You've Got Mail. Martin Bayerler, Barrel, Bayerle, 1951, born this day, treasure hunter. And Valerie Bertinelli, actress, cook and show host, and former wife of Eddie Van Halen, born this day, 1960. George Lopez, also famous comedian, actor, born this day, 1961. Loved him in Blue Beetle. Oh my God, he was incredible in Blue Beetle. Robbie Nash, Naish, born this day, 1963. World champion windsurfer and pioneer of kiteboarding. Here in Florida, kite surfing, big, humongous. Check it out. Also, so let's check out what is the national day for today. We are celebrating National Lost Dog Awareness Day. Salute out to that. National Administrative Professionals Day, National Cherry Cheesecake Day, National Take a Chance Day, and National Picnic Day. So, like Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, hey, pick up picnic basket. Get your picnic baskets out today. Your take a chances, your cherry cheesecakes, your national administratives, your lost dogs, and happy birthday, folks. That's your national day calendar. Whew. April 23rd, 2025, and we are moving on. Let's check. Let me make sure that you guys realize I'm here. Let's check the audio. Come on. Let's see. Testing one, two, three. Nice. We're going good. All right. Let me pull up this video. So if you go on YouTube, look up. You see here. Dangerous burn windmill. It should come up with the abadabadoo. Well, what do you know? It doesn't. Okay. Let's try this again. Abadorian barren windmill. Or it's Abadorian. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. But there it is. It's under destructive burn. One word. Destructive burn is one word for their channel. And then you'll see the video. I was doing the base. That's where we left off. And I need to get right back to that spot. It's a gorgeous windmill, man. I really like the design. I've seen a lot of different windmill designs. This is really pretty interesting. Yeah, wait till I get to the top of it. It's like a dome. All right, this is good. I need to count how many blocks I got to go out. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would go 7. I think 7. 7 is the key number. And then it comes back in from there. And let's see if I have any. At least I'm going to have to use oak. Look at that horse, man. I have horses over here. I want to bring villagers over here for sure. I definitely want to bring villagers over here. I think, yeah, it's going to be in here if I have anything. All right. Did I cover this up over here? Yep, it's all good. Let's put this in here for now. And grab these. And I might as well use whole planks. I'm tempted to use slabs because we don't have a lot of wood, but no, I'm going to go with slabs, and it wants to go 7 out. So start from here, and I believe, yep, it's right on top of this stuff. So, but it starts out from here. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, like that, and then we got to start making a circular pattern just like that. But it's got to go out 7 from here. I'm in peaceful mode. Oh, that's pretty. We're in peaceful mode, so I don't have to worry about mobs. I could easily go into hard mode, but I need to get this stuff built. I'm thinking also to make the upper sections storage for the dye, for the flowers and the dye. This is a flower farm, and I have a autocrafter connected to it, and from the whatever flowers is spawned here, you get your dyes from it. So I figure the upper portion of this windmill would be a storage area for the. If you can hear the bees, I love it. All right. So we just simply follow this pattern that we did here, but bring it all the way out. And I'm just going to do the outline and then fill it in afterwards. If I'm not mistaken, I did 11. The width is about 11. I turn it up to 11, you know. I saw Andor season 2. It started out with 3 episodes last night on Disney Plus. Folks, go check that episode, this new season out. It is phenomenal. If you have not seen Andor or Rogue One, go check it out. Tony Gilroy is the creator. It stars Diego Luna, and I can not express enough of how much writing, filming, special effects. It's incredible. It's an incredible piece of art, and I highly recommend every single one of you folks out there to go check it out. And Star Wars is very well known to emulate or mirror, just like Star Trek, today's politics. And I highly recommend you folks checking that out. I really do. It's amazing. Great feat of work. Just like any Star Wars movie, they take about 2 years. Or it's not really a movie, it's a TV series, but still, it takes 2 years of production. And Andor season 1 came out around 2019, I think. And since then, they've been working on this season, and it's really worth any Star Wars production. It's worth the wait. It's really good stuff. On top of that, just towards the end, because each episode is almost 40 minutes to an hour, and I was getting done the episode, and I was trying to think to myself, like, what? I didn't want to go to sleep, you know. It was about 2 o'clock or so in the morning. I was like, I did Uber, and I got home a little bit late in the evening. And I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep yet, because I was so buzzed from the episode. What am I going to do now? And on my Twitter, I found out that I follow Ross Coulthart, who is a big reporter down from Australia that covers a lot of UFO information and stuff. And he was discussing Jesse Michael, who's also a big interviewer on YouTube. That Jesse Michael had a phenomenal interview with a physicist professor named Harold Malgrim. And if you go over to the Jesse Michaels website on YouTube channel, you'll find the Harold, Harald, Malgrim, Grem, interview. And he was an advisor, Harold Malgrim was an advisor to four different administrations, starting with President Kennedy. He was 27 years old when he was a advisor to President Kennedy. Let me count this way. 1, 2. Oh, I hope I didn't count. Oh, please tell me I didn't count this one coming in. Hold on. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. Whew. He was an advisor to President Kennedy, and during President Kennedy's administration, like as soon as he became president, almost, he ran into one of the biggest events of our country next to World War I and II was the Bay of Pigs in Cuba and the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I forget who was the head of the Pentagon at the time, or Department of Defense, but Malgrim was an advisor or an aide to the head of defense during that crisis. And at that time, It's going to be hard to explain this and then do this at the same time. Give me 1 second. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am no Harold Magrum. Um, so at that time, the head of the Air Force, oh God, Curtis LeMay, he was so angry about the situation of Russia building missile silos in Cuba or platforms in Cuba that he wanted revenge. And the head of the Pentagon or the Defense Department said, "Look, Harold Magrum was like 27, was like a kid at the time." And Harold even said, "Like, what am I going to do? I'm just a kid. Like, what these guys, they'll eat me for lunch or breakfast or whatever. What am I going to do?" And the head of the Defense Department said, "Look, we just need time. They're very angry right now. We need time. We just need you to stall them. We need time." So Harold went back in, and after a long discussion, a lot of the other generals weren't as angry or upset as Curtis LeMay, but I mean, it's nuclear war. It's the Third World War. So, but um, Harold Magrum, towards the end of the conference, said straight out to Curtis LeMay, he said, "Well, okay, so if you go ahead and push the button, who's going to be your first target?" And LeMay said, "Of course, Moscow. That's going to be my first target. That's what I want to hit." And LeMay said, "Well, if you hit Moscow, who are we going to negotiate with? It'll be over. Everything the known civilization of this world, our civilization will be over. And what are you going to do at that point?" And LeMay was so angry, he just got up from the conference and walked out. And at that point, that gave the Kennedy administration a chance to work out that dilemma. And ever since then, Howard Magrum was an important um, asset to all the future presidential administrations. And he even said during the interview that he had seen our government's connection with UFOs and stuff. It's amazing stuff. If you've seen the David Grush interview, David Grush makes remarks about the very first UFO crash wasn't really Roswell that we know of. It was in Italy, in Magenta, Italy, and Mussolini at the time was the head of Italy. His people found it, and Mussolini didn't know what it was. He thought it was the Nazis, the Germans. So he called up the Nazis. The Nazis said, "No, it's not ours." So, but the Nazis said, "Look, work with us. We'll figure it out." So that's how Italy and Germany became partners during that time. And then the Vatican, it involved the Knights of Malta. The Vatican heard about it because they're in Italy and contacted the United States, and that's how the United States got their hands on that crash, and that's what started our UFO program. Was from the Italian crash. It's an amazing, amazing interview, and if you get a chance to go check it out, I just watched it last night. It's about 3 hours long though. Uh, Professor Malcolm had just passed this past February. He was 89, but the month prior to his passing is the interview, and I guess because he knew he was going to be passing, that he wanted to convey everything that he knew or saw up to that point so that we could all understand what was going on behind the scenes. And it's an amazing interview. It's on the Jesse Michaels YouTube channel. And look up Harold Malgram interview. It should be the first thing on there. It was on there last night. So Harold, Harald, Malgram, Malgrem, on the Jesse Michaels show. It's awesome, awesome. His daughter, Harold Magram's daughter, is Pippa Malgram, who was the advisor to President Bush during the second President Bush's administration, the younger President Bush, President Bush Jr. So yeah, in fact, Malcolm Sr. had said that President Bush was going to disclose. He was going to do UFO disclosure. He was that close of disclosing everything, and because Pippa was connected to a lot. Well, her father Harold knew a lot of this stuff, and Pippa it was going to help President Bush bring this stuff out. It's amazing. So it's, I mean, from what's going on lately, with a lot of the interviews and a lot of the different conversations that's going on right now, we're probably on the precipice of a lot of this stuff coming out. It's going to be amazing, amazing stuff. So cool. Like I follow a lot of this information, and but it comes out in drips and drabs, and it's fascinating now where stuff is starting to connect, and it's like wow, it's really like uh, hair on the back of your neck standing up type of feeling from this stuff. Really good stuff. I mean, I know like I already got this stuff formed. I shouldn't have to count, but I'm still counting. So bear with me. But yeah, oh my God, it's so cool. So very, very, very cool. I'm trying to think what else. One, two, three, four, five, six. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I don't think anything else is surprising or anything like that. But yeah, check out Andor season 2, the Harold Magram interview. Pretty good. Um, yeah, just trying to think if there was anything. Oh, Star Wars Celebration out there on Disney Plus. Check that out. That was really cool. That was in Japan just recently. They're going to be in Los Angeles in 2027. Every 2 years is another Star Wars celebration, and so 2020. In fact, the 2027 celebration will be the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. It from the movie 1977. It's been 50 years since 1977 in 2027. Amazing stuff. Anywho, so I was doing a drowned farm before this. I was saying that I was going to try to get back to that today. I doubt it. I doubt it because I really want to put a dent in this mill before the stream's over. We'll get back to it like next week probably. So stay tuned for that. Also, the Gargamel build. This is all connected to. I don't know if you guys have seen the cartoon Smurfs, but I was doing a large Smurf village and Gargamel cottage, and I needed a lot of black wool for the Gargamel statue, or not statue. I don't know what you call that model, and the ink was coming in from the fishery, which is right next to the drowned farm. And I wanted always to improve that farm, and we were doing that right before this, or I was doing that right before this windmill build. I've always wanted to do this windmill because I built this flower farm, and this is like almost like the Netherlands, where there's a flower biome right there. I like to do a couple of these, but this is a big build. I'd like to get some villagers in here, maybe some fishermen over by the water, herdsmen, make a really nice like Dutch or Netherlands type of feel to this. Because Amsterdam has a lot of water and waterways and stuff. Well, guess what? I'm not going to be able to push that out in the corner. Okay, I'll just sit there until I get some more woodage. I don't think I have any left in here. I'll be darned. Okay, and let's go back. Also during the excuse me, Malgram interview, they were saying that President Kennedy, because of the fact that a lot of these UFOs go after any during any type of nuclear missile test, these UFOs are usually spotted around the missile. So there was all, because of the Cold War, there was always this fear that the Russians would mistake these UFOs as us and start World War III. So President Kennedy was trying to avoid that, especially after the Cuban Missile Crisis. So he had a plan that he was going to actually work with the Russians. He didn't want Russia to be our enemy, and he was trying to give all the information we had to work with them. And there's a lot of rumors and conspiracy theories thinking that that's what probably got President Kennedy assassinated, was that fact. There was a lot of people at that time, you know, that's what I'm saying. There's it's really fascinating how a lot of our movies mirror the times, the current times, right? So just like the Empire taking over from the Republic and stuff, and how they enforced their will against policies of that time, that time or whatever. And it's fascinating to see how that kind of reflects in our current history. So, like I said, do yourselves a favor, go check out Andor. It's an incredible, incredible piece of work. There was, speaking of that, so like in Star Trek, the original series, there was an episode where the aliens on the planet, it's not funny, but that's how racism was back in the 60s. The people on that planet, one side of their face was white and the other side was black. And then there was another group from another side of the planet, which was the opposite. But they both had black and white on their face, but it was on different sides. And because of that, they were racist against each other. They were at war against each other. And there's a part in the movie where Kirk goes to them like, I mean, what's the hostility? Why are you guys at war with each other? And the guy's like, don't you understand? They got black on the other side of their face. Well, I mean, don't you understand that? And I mean, if that is not a perfect, reflection of what the current times back then was, I mean, I don't know what is, but yeah, it was crazy. Ooh, but yeah, Andor. Go check out Andor. There's a scene in Andor in season 1. In fact, they have the actor Andy Serkis in I think it was, I don't know, like episode 6 or 7 in the series, where Andor is arrested, taken to an Imperial prison. There's over 10,000 prisoners in this entire prison, and there's only like 100 guards, 100 or 200 guards, and Andrew's like, how can these guys control all these people? And the simple answer was psychology. They put fear in the prisoners, making them think there's millions of security. Even in fact, when you were taken in as a prisoner at that prison, the floors are all metal, so you were forced to take off shoes and socks, so you're on bare feet at all times. And at any time, they would say like it's lights out, time to go to bed. They electrify the floors. And there was a part of the movie where something about, because like each group of prisoners handled building for the Empire, different parts for the Empire, and there was something about, I don't understand it. I have to review it. That there was an uproar with this other group of prisoners, and they simply, because I guess the guards couldn't handle that amount of prisoners getting out of control, they simply killed the entire group by electrifying them. It was crazy, but that's what I'm saying. If you get a chance, check out. It's on Disney Plus. And it's called Andor. Andor. Phenomenal series. Check it out. If you've ever seen Star Wars, and the very first Star Wars from 1977, Uh, you will see in the beginning of the film, the whole idea was get the Death Star plans. That was the whole idea behind the very first Star Wars movie was the Rebel Alliance got the plans to the Death Star to know how to blow it up. How they got those plans, that's what the movie Rogue One is all about. Is how the rebels got the plans to the Death Star. So the whole movie Rogue One, which the character Andor is a part of, is based on that. And the whole series of Andor is how it takes 5 years before that event where they found the plans, where they stole the plans, and it shows how Andor uh, led up to Rogue One. So you gotta go check it out, man. It's really, really good. Diego Luna is an incredible, incredible actor, man. He's a phenomenal actor. But Gilroy, I could not get over how many Gilroys, family members of the Gilroy family, is part of the making of Andor season two. Why, look at the credits. If you get a chance, look at the credits of Andor season two, and you will get a listing of the entire. Well, I'm exaggerating, but I think like four of the brothers and one of the sons is in Andor season two. It's amazing. Really good stuff, man. That's what I'm saying. The writing, the whole writing in Star Wars is just impeccable. Also, Industrial Light and Magic, or ILM, or Light and Magic. I think the series is called Light and Magic on Disney Plus. Check out Light and Magic. It's by Ron Howard. It's a documentary on the effects department of Lucasfilm. They're called Industrial Light and Magic. The documentary is called Light and Magic. Great stuff. They pretty much invented. There was no special effects company at the time before Star Wars, 1977. So Lucas hired all these people who literally invented today's special effects departments. Everything we see in special effects come from them. It's amazing. There was no machines, there was no cameras, nothing, nothing before Industrial Light and Magic. They literally invented the industry. So if you want to see how it got started, how these guys invented all this stuff that we see today, that we love going to the movies to watch and see, go check out Light and Magic. Good stuff, man. So this is a tree farm. This is based on Silent Whisperer's Universal Tree Farm. You can check it out on YouTube. Silent Whisperer. His name is spelt with without the H. So it's Silent Whisperer. Whisperer. He does the best redstone builds. You gotta check him out. Him and Ray Works. Their builds are amazing. Back at the time, Mumbo on Minecraft, Mumbo Jumbo, he is also a really amazing redstone contributor. So if you're fascinated how redstone works, check out those guys, man. They were literally school you on redstone. It's some good stuff, man. If you want to try to make like automatic farms, automation in your world, this is redstone is the way to go. Also, believe it or not, yeah, I didn't know this at the time too. That's why I kind of stayed away from Minecraft. I'm a video gamer, but I never considered Minecraft because of the graphics. From what the graphics looked like, I thought it was for preschoolers or kid or children. And lo and behold, it's actually those graphics maybe look like that, but it's definitely not for preschoolers. It's for everybody, even preschoolers. Minecraft Redstone, believe it or not, is literally ground floor Boolean logic. Boolean logic is what electricians use to make circuits and also computer programmers. Boolean logic is the basis of algorithms. So if you're trying to figure out, for most electronic circuits, um, it's a cycle. It's built on loops. Same thing with computer programs. It's built on loops. or imagine a train track. You have trains going around a track, and these tracks go off, they branch off, and then they come back to that loop. That's a computer. That's an algorithm. Algorithm is another name for a computer program. It's also called an algorithm. Also, circuits. Circuits. Think of excuse me. Think of water running through a hose, and you're having electrons going through wires. It's not really going through wires. It's more like electrons. excuse me, winding or wrapping around wires. Electrons, and but if the wire goes in a loop, and it uses that same theory or idea or logic. It's a Boolean. It's called Boolean logic. Boolean logic. Boolean logic. And if you can work out redstone, which is like this, the redstone dust and the comparators, repeaters, the machines that connect to it, you're going to get a ground level understanding of electronics. So Minecraft, man, it it's life, man. It's Minecraft is life. Um, Not just that, but like cartography. I used to be a truck driver, and the one thing that, you know, as you're growing up, you just take things for granted, like addresses. Um, if you ever wondered why we have addresses to begin with, like your street address or your house address, it all deals with streets and avenues. Now, I might be getting this wrong, and I'm sure people are going to let me know that I'm saying this wrong. But you have street. If you ever wonder why we have streets and avenues, and not all just streets, but it's just they divide it into two: streets and avenues. And then sometimes there's boulevards and cul-de-sacs, whatever. But mainly streets and avenues. It's north and south, I believe, are streets. I might be getting this backwards, and avenues are east and west. The numbers reflect that on those streets. So if you look on the upper left-hand corner of my screen, you'll see three numbers: 150, -18, -113. That's where we are in the world of Minecraft. That's my coordinate or street address. So if you wanted to know, like if you were another player and you wanted to know where I was located, if I gave you that coordinate, you know exactly where I am in this world. Same thing like your house or a business. It has an address number. Well, certain numbers reflect, um, depending on if it's odd or even. I might be getting this wrong as well, but that's how you know if that address is on a street or an avenue. Also letting you know if it's on the east and west grid or the north and south grid, or the north and south grid based on the number. Um, And if you look on the upper left-hand corner of my screen, that's X is 151, Y is -17, and Z is -107. So 151 goes east to west, and 106 goes north and south. I could be getting that wrong. But that's the idea, that's the principle. And then 17 is going up and down. So you can actually build your world with addresses. Make up a map, and then put an address number down of your different villages, even individual houses in your village. You can give them a particular number, just like you have your house number. So Minecraft teaches you cartography. It teaches you systems, like that type of system. You use that in a library. The Dewey index system, or decimal system. That's the idea of where you can find a particular book in the library. It's like an address. When you're programming computers, bits and bytes, you store data on addresses. So it's, Minecraft teaches this stuff, man. It's good stuff. Life stuff. Let's see if we can get a couple of more stats. I'm going to need a lot of wood. I am going to need a lot of wood. Not just cartography, but we're exploring. It helps you with your logic. It helps you solve problems. Just like I was trying to build that drown farm, and like one week when I tried it out, it worked. After an update, it didn't work no more. So you have to change. You have to learn to adapt. Uh, to figure, just like ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, that's how they solve problems. Um, they went into a roadblock, but instead of giving up, they just worked with the situation, make it work. And they did it on a time schedule. It's the funny, you'll see that in the documentary. George Lucas gave them an amount of money because when he went to film Star Wars, 20th Century Fox funded the movie, which would have been paid back by the ticket sales. And but George Lucas gave the effects ILM, which wasn't called that at the time, the money to come up with a way to make the effects. So Lucas was in England filming the Death Star scenes from the inside of the Death Star, and the guys back in Los Angeles on the effects team was inventing cameras to film these effects that George wanted. And the thing they discovered during that, which is interesting, is that a lot of the scenes you'll see in the movie of the first Star Wars is the X-wing and TIE fighter scene, any of the spaceship scenes, um, how they fly, how they move, and you would, I know I did. I assumed that they took the ship, the model, and flew it past or moved it around the camera, and it's not true. How they filmed all those scenes, the model stays perfectly still and doesn't move. It's the camera that's moving. The camera moves around the model. The model is stationary and the camera is moved. So the company had to devise or invent a system, not only a camera to film, but a system to move the camera. And it was based on computers. It was based on, so they can repeat the same move. They would save the path the camera took robotically, and then anytime they wanted to retrace that pattern, they had all the coordinates in a computer that moved the camera. So they actually had to invent these computers to do this. It's amazing stuff. And also, George Lucas was getting burnt out from because it's such a large scale movie of all the film that he had to edit. And at the time, we're late 19 or the early or to mid 1970s, there was a computer revolution where microcomputers, because at the time before the 70s, computers were huge. It took up a whole room, almost the size of a warehouse. Where today you have your personal computer, the CPU fits in a little box or on the motherboard in the box on your desk. But back in the 60s and the 50s, that same CPU that's in that board took up an entire room. They were the size of refrigerators, the CPU that historic computers used back in the day. So during the 70s, it was the micro revolution where you could take that same CPU that were giant and fit it on the side of a board that would fit on your desk. And so these new microcomputers, it was new at the time. And Lucas knew, because of that fact, that you could digitalize film, save film images digitally versus putting it on physical film. Same thing with audio. Same thing with filming characters. 3D models, all of that. Pixar. You watch Toy Story, and that's by the company called Pixar. Well, Pixar was a machine that was invented from Lucasfilm to digitalize film, and eventually the the engineers who worked on that machine, Pixar, they really wanted to focus more on cartoons and animation versus film. So eventually, after Lucas got what he needed from Pixar and that group. They were sold to Steve Jobs, Apple Computers, and that's how the company Pixar got started. So you can thank Lucasfilm or Star Wars for giving you Toy Story. And it's so weird how it all comes to Disney because one of the map painters for Lucasfilm back in the early 1970s that created Star Wars, his father was a map painter for Disney. He did all the map paintings for Snow White. I apologize, I don't remember Trumbull. I think the guy's name was. Let me look that up. I don't want to mess this up because all these guys from ILM are like gods. Hold on, uh, Matt Painter, ILM. Um, oh god. Oh my god, there's a guy with an actual name, Matt Painter. Okay, maybe I'm spelling that wrong. Matt Painter, ILM. Um, wow, they don't mention the original Matt Painter. Give me a second. Oh, that's horrible. You would think the guy would have the top name here. Hold on, hold on. I'm trying to find that guy's name. He should be one of the first things printed here. I just don't want to overlook this guy's name because he's one of the. If you ever seen the Star Wars scene where Obi-Wan is in the Death Star over the um, gorge inside the Death Star, where it's like it drops infinitely. This Matt Painter created that. It's not. Alec Guinness was actually 6 feet off the floor, but because of this matte painting, it gives the illusion that this thing was like infinite. This is driving me nuts. Let me find another way of searching this guy's name. Uh, Matt Painter, son of the son of the Matt Painter from Disney. Yeah, Harrison Ellenshaw. Harrison Ellenshaw, Ellenshaw, Harrison Ellenshaw. He was the matte painter for Star Wars. His father is Peter. Oh, no, no, no. Wait a minute. Yeah, his father's Peter Ellenshaw, and Peter Ellenshaw was the foremost matte painter for Disney. And that's what I'm saying. The connections is just crazy out of Star Wars. All the different connections. It's amazing. It's flipping amazing. It's it's there used to be a Trivia Pursuit, which was a board game from the '80s called Six Degrees of Kevin Bacon. You could find any actor in Hollywood, and within six actors, they were or anybody in the film industry would be connected to Kevin Bacon. It was called Six Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's kind of like Star Wars. It is very much like Star or George Lucas. 6 Degrees of George Lucas. It's really crazy. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to check out Light and Magic on Disney. Really good stuff. I just want to make sure I got enough wood for this because I'll run out really fast. I've been primarily using oak and dark oak for this build. Give me one more second, guys. Yeah, here in Florida, it's starting to warm up. I live in an apartment. I always talk about my roommate. That's actually my mom. God bless her. She's 81. So I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with that lovely woman um, before I'm totally on my own. I have no brothers or sisters or family. It's just me and her. And but the way my apartment, my room in the apartment is on the west side of the building. So right about now is it's like a little oven is when the heat starts to increase in my room. So I had to turn that fan on. Oh, I don't know if I if you watch my if you watch my different. I've been streaming since 2023, and if you watch the episodes from the summertime, you'll hear me mention that. I love it here in Florida. I can't. I'm from New Jersey originally, and I can't stress enough how much I love Florida. But yeah, in the summertime, it gets extremely hot here, and I consider that paying my dues. That's how much I don't like the cold. I don't like snow. I mean, I like visiting snow. I like going skiing, but I don't like living in it. The other thing that used to drive me nuts was the 6 months of gray skies. Didn't like that either. Here in Florida, you have sunshine almost every single day, even in the wintertime. There's always sunshine. Um, but like I said, it's you know, I guess for some folks you could find a happy medium between the two. But because I grew up in it, and I think I had what they call seasonal depression, where if you don't get enough sunshine, you actually start having depression. And I smoked regular cigarettes, like 2 packs of Marlboro Reds for 30 years. And I started when I was in high school. I was like 17. My junior year of high school. It was the summer, like the June of '85 is when I think I started smoking cigarettes. And I didn't stop. I didn't stop until 2013. And it's hard once you get started, man. It's a real hard addiction to give up. It's like a security blanket. You think that's what makes you happy, and really it doesn't. In fact, it's hideous. After I quit, I finally realized the truth behind it is that nicotine doesn't reach. That's how I mean, how ironic it is. Nicotine does not reduce anxiety. Nicotine increases anxiety. So you're thinking, after you get done smoking a cigarette, you feel better, but it's fleeting. What the nicotine does, well, it's really not the nicotine. It's insidious. The tobacco companies, what they would do in order, just like drug dealers. I hate to make I don't. I'm not trying to. I don't know for sure. I don't know like the testing. This is what I'm hearing and reading and understanding. I mean, I know for sure that I feel better now without smoking, but from the way I understand it, the tobacco companies, in order to ensure they would have returning customers, found a way to add chemicals to the nicotine that increases anxiety. So you're thinking that you're feeling better, but you only feel that for a very short period of time while you're smoking the cigarette. Once it's over, you're going to crash and you're going to need more cigarettes. Believe it or not, after that I gave up sugar. I do stevia now. Sugar is the same idea. What many sugar companies do is chemically enhance sugar to make it more addicting. Your body thinks you need more sugar. In actuality, if you ate natural sugar, you wouldn't have this addiction for it. And they've done that to sugar. These companies have done it to sugar. They've done it to salt. They've done it to bread. It's originally bread. Bread is not really white. Wheat is not really that color. What companies will do to make it more, I don't know the original purpose, but from what I assume is why they did it is to make it more appealing to the eye. But they bleach wheat to make it look white. And a lot of it too is from the sugar. There's sugar also involved with the flour making process. Flour originally is not really white. It's like a brownish color, like wheat almost. So if you do, I think there's books out there on uh, corporations, how food corporations how they do things to ensure productivity and demand and supply. It's pretty insidious. Not just, I can't just blame that form of businesses. Then you have advertising. It's a business to entice you to buy things. Um, that's the thing with capitalism too, money. If people buy things, that increases jobs and stuff like that, and it's it's a cycle. It's a process. I don't go on a rant, but blah blah blah. But also though, on a good side, in my opinion, it's a good thing too because it inspires innovation. Competition inspires innovation, so it has its perks too. But yeah, I don't want to go on a rant. That's just yeah. Let's stick to the job at hand. So I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Friday will be my hardcore episode, and that will be World 12. And I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. Hopefully I can get this iron farm up and running so we can do something impressive in this hardcore world. But it's moving along. I have an original world when I first started playing Minecraft in 2019, and probably June 7th is the anniversary of my channel and me playing Minecraft. So maybe I'll show you my original world and the projects I've been working on, so you can see what I used to do in my very first world, which is a normal survival world. Not hardcore or anything like that. I think this is plenty of wood right now. I think we can get pretty far with this. Whew. I've been trying to talk more during the stream to make things more interesting. Yeah, I got to. I found that when I made these clips for Twitch on my streams and put that up on TikTok, I got more views. I might have to start doing that. Just need to find a spot where it's interesting to post a clip. Let me see here. Turn this on one more time. Anything that falls in these, that's what these hoppers are for. So anything that falls, it gets collected, and then this dispenser will shoot it back at me. One day I'll like to come back down here and really work on this place to make it more appealing to actually be here and do stuff. Inspiring. That's the word. Inspiring. Yeah, I think Earth Day. I don't know if today's Earth Day or not. I just heard something about Earth Day. Let me see here. When's Earth Day 2025? Yesterday. Yesterday was Earth Day. So I'll explain what that is real quick. Earth rocks, and this is an article on Google about Earth Day. If you look it up, it says World Earth Day. Earth rocks, and we get to celebrate just how wonderful our planet is on April 22nd. Millions of people around the world will pause on Tuesday, at least for a moment, to mark Earth Day. It's an annual event founded by people who hope to stir. Let me go to the website. That's a cliffhanger. But while that thing is loading, we'll finish this up. So, I like to put the stuff in here so I get bone meal back. And I'll put this in here so we have that next time we come back. And that looks good. That's pretty much enough for now. And I got my wood in there. All right, and try to get at least to the top of it today if I can. Oh, so Earth Day. Okay, so I wanted to finish that little article thing I was talking about. Um, see, oh man, I waited for now. Hold on. What is the theme of Earth Day? This theme encourages people to unite behind renewable energy and accelerate the transition to clean electricity. Specifically, it aims to triple renewable energy generation by 2030. But I think it. Let me see when did Earth Day start? 1970, April 22nd, 1970. I remember this as a little kid because during those times, pollution was out of control, and it was a big movement to clean up our air. It was certain spots on Earth, the quality of air, the air quality was so horrible. I mean, you actually like you can see in uh, images of Japan where people were wearing in China they're wearing masks not just for uh, viruses or whatever, but the smog. The smog is so bad, produced by factories and not only factories but car exhaust and stuff. So there was a big movement back in the 70s to try to clean all of that up. I think that's where we got the scientists, because there was a study, and that's what gave birth to the idea of global warming. And a lot of scientists believe that by 2050, 'cause especially here, I live here in Florida, the hurricanes like what was it, Hurricane Milton. I was here during Hurricane Charlie. And that was my very first hurricane because I'm from New Jersey. I never experienced a hurricane before. And how Charlie worked was that the hurricane in diameter it's quite large. Let me see if I can put it in perspective. In diameter, how large was Hurricane Charlie? Hurricane Charlie was 5 nautical miles wide. Oh no, excuse me. The storm's maximum winds were concentrated within a 10-mile wide area, leading to a concentrated impact zone. Hurricane force winds with Charlie extended only 15 to 25 miles out from the eye, but if you look at a map, it covered the entire Gulf of Mexico. Um, and Milton was even larger. But how Charlie worked was if you look down at a hurricane, it looks like a pinwheel. And just like on a pinwheel, the arms of the pinwheel you can imagine would be the storm fronts. Each arm is a storm front. And the storm front is like any other storm you would come across. You have great or dark clouds and lightning and thunder and everything with under those clouds and until the clouds pass. Well, in a hurricane, you would see these arms, and each arm is like miles and miles long of storm clouds in that arm. And as the arm passes you, it takes about an hour for the arm to pass over you. And then there'd be a gap until you get the next arm crossing over you. And in that gap, it's peace and quiet for about an hour. It calms down for an hour. And then the next arm crosses you, and then the whole process starts all over again. It takes almost it took for Charlie, it took 8 hours. Well, actually, it took longer than that because it actually hung over the coast for a week. So it took we had to go, the first couple of days was like that, and then it started to get lighter and lighter as the days increased. But until the storm passes, you have to deal with that over and over and over again, the intensity, until the entire hurricane passes away from you. And Milton, there was no gap. Milton, there was no gap at all. There, like, you might quiet down for about 15 minutes, and then you had 100-mile-per-hour winds constantly. It only calmed where we had an hour in between storms. Milton, there was only 15 minutes, and it was just continuous. It was horrible. But it only lasted for about a day and a half with Milton, where Charlie it took about a week for it to cross over. But that's not to say that Milton was less of a storm than Charlie. It was more intense very, very short period of time. And that's what these meteorologists are talking about with global warming, is that we're not going to get a lot of hurricanes or more hurricanes. It's just that the hurricanes we get are going to be very, very intense. And they think by 2050 it's going to hit a maximum where it's going to be out of control by 2050. So there's a prince in Saudi Arabia building a city right now called Neom, spelling Neom as in Mike. And that's an idea of a lot of cities around the world, is how to protect um, the people of these cities from these storms in 2050. And the way they're going to change infrastructure is a lot of these cities are going to be self-contained to be protected against these high winds and storms and stuff. So if you're curious, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's called Neom, Neom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not, and theoretically, I'm assuming not only can you build these cities here on Earth, but since they're self-contained, you could build them on Mars. You could build them on the moon because they're self-contained. You could probably generate it. The city can generate its own oxygen, weather, everything inside. Yeah, I just matched that. Never mind. So yeah, so it's pretty incredible stuff. It's interesting, like if you watch Blade Runner or Star Wars and Coruscant, it's a city of it's a planet that is a city. That's how it's usually operated. In Star Trek, even they talk about weather control, how to control and manipulate the weather. Some fascinating stuff. To the level of technology we're actually reaching, it's pretty incredible. I think as far as I go, yeah. And I got to come out and have to figure out how to come across here. Let me pick these off. That was wrong. Let me see here. Wait a minute. Yeah, I did that wrong. I really did that wrong. Oh my God. See, that's why I don't make conversation a lot when I'm doing this stream. That's the reason why. It's like trying to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time. I think it goes like five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So shout out to Rayworks. I do a lot of raids before my stream's over, and Rayworks is one of them. And not only Rayworks, but like there's been a few other people I've checked out, and I always get a shout out from them after after I do the raid, and I just want to say thank you um, for noticing us raiding you guys. Um, it's good because I'm promoting other Minecrafters and my channel too in a way. So that's why I like playing Minecraft. You know, it's a very big community, and and it's not just for us. I mean, you guys can start your own, your own community, your own channel. It's all available. This is how computers started out in the 70s. That's how we got Apple computers. It was a community thing. Very, very cool stuff. Now I have to remember. See, this is where it gets bad. How to match this. See, this is where I get to mess things up pretty bad. Let me just try to mimic this, and I should be okay. I think I go back 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Darn it. Maybe it goes a little bit longer. Yeah, 6. Because it's bigger. It's bigger in diameter. Then I just got to fill it in. The other interesting thing in the Harold Malgrim, Jesse Michaels interview was that they were talking about Thomas Browning, Thomas uh, Townsend Browning, and he was connected. He was a physicist connected with, or an engineer connected with Nikola Tesla, and there's a paper by Townsend describing that he solved the anti-gravity um, equation. And the interesting thing is that if you can solve anti-gravity, then you solve the time travel equation as well. So it's pretty amazing. I'm telling you, you got to check out that interview. It's really fascinating. Um, but like I said, if you look over our history and try to match it along the lines of that, like the interview, like what they're discussing, what they found from the 1930s until today, it shows. I mean, you can imagine um, what we've been gaining out of this. It's really incredible. I don't know if this is perfectly round. It's starting to look. That's why I was worried about this. It's looking flat on the edges. Um, I probably could have extended it a little further out to make it rounder. There is a website that shows you how to do this. And I'm trying to wing this. I wonder if I extend that out, that little edge right there by 3. That's already 2. If I add 3 to it, which would be 5, and then do this angle thing, I wonder if that makes a difference. Let's see. This is how my builds get like go on forever. It's stuff like this. It's because I don't pre-plan this stuff out. I try to work on it on the fly. I apologize. I got allergies until the summer hits here. Oh my God, we got oak trees, a lot of oak trees around my apartment complex, and for whatever reason, I don't know why it takes so long for the oak trees to pollinate. And whew, it's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's out by 5. Let me grab a little shut eye. Let's go back inside, I guess. I just don't like working in the dark. Where's my bed? Okay. Oh, I had it there. See that? I hate that. That drives me nuts. I was just looking for that when I was up on that platform. That's why you have bundles from Bundles of Bravery. Your little satchels. You can organize your inventory. Now I gotta go find my 5 push out. Where is that? There's 3. Is that it? No. There's 2. 2. Am I losing my mind? I swear I just put 5 coming out. Maybe it's on the edge, on the outer edge. I can't see it. Yeah. Son of a gun. So let's see how I'm going to work this. So I just don't remember. I think it's just like Minecraft circles, Minecraft ellipses. There's a website that actually you can make your own diagram. So you don't have to try to figure out like I'm trying to do it. You can just make the diagram and use that as a template. Make things go much faster than what I'm doing right now. Oop, I'm going backwards. try to stay on that diagonal if I can. And I think if I bring that out, what, by 3? Let's see how weird this shape is. Darn it, it drives me nuts. Let me see, like that. Yeah, I turned it the wrong way. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, we're in a square, blocky world, so you're trying to use square blocks to give the illusion of a circle. Kind of like pixels. And again, going back to Lucasfilm, Pixar. That's where you get the name Pixar. Pixels. Oh, this drives me nuts. Okay, I think this is the circle, but I got to go up on that ladder to see. Trying to get away from making that arc flat. I want to make it more bendy. See how that's flat? I think that was the only example I had. That's more circular. It's more of an arc. So that's like 4 and that's like 5. It's not a perfect arc, but it'll work. It'll work for our purposes. So if I just continue that, hopefully that same pattern, we can do the full circle. I gotta memorize that sequence. This is really turning, hello people, this is turning into a menagerie. This is not supposed to be a corral. This is supposed to be a windmill, people. Windmill, flowers. I love animals, but this is supposed to be flowers. This is an episode of Flower. Look at the bee. Look at the bee. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we go out by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then over by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our sequence, and it should go like that all the way around. So I'm getting a funny feel. What time is it? I'm getting a funny feel. Hey, whoever's here, welcome aboard. I'm the Big Red 1967. I stream here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday is my hardcore world. I stream live here on Twitch, and then all my live streams go up on my YouTube channel. The same name, one word, the Big Red 1967, up on YouTube. I've been streaming since June 1923. June 2023. June 2023. I think the reason why I'm saying 19 is because I started playing Minecraft in 2019. That's why I keep saying that. I mixed the two. So what we're doing here today, this is a flower farm, and I'm building a windmill over top of this flower farm, and it'll be storage for the flower farm as well. I'm going to have my villagers out here too. So this model is based on destructive burn, one word, destructive burns, windmill build, and it was called the Abadorian Baron Windmill, Abadorian, Abadorian Baron Windmill on YouTube. You can also Google it and you'll see the image. I am not following the you can actually go to their website and get the schematic for this, I'm actually just basing this off the image. I'm trying to duplicate what they did from their image. So welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here. We're trying to keep the sequence. The inner ring wasn't this complicated. This outer ring to make it more archy. Hello, Mr. B. I got to use a different pattern. So it's like 11. There's 11 here. On this segment, it's 11. It comes out by 7 from the edge of here, out by 7, and then across by 11. So you got 5, 0, 5, and then 5 out here. Comes out diagonally from this 5th block all the way over to here, and then it goes over by 4 and then back to the 11. So the sequence, the arcs that connect the 11 section or segment is 4 by 7 by 5, and that's what connects these segments. And again, there is a website. If you go do a Google search for Minecraft circles, you can basically create it has a grid. You probably could do it on grid paper too. And it has an algorithm on the website. So you plug in your diameter and it gives you your poof. Within a second, you'll have this pattern that you need based on the diameter, how big you want it. So you give it the size of your circle and then it gives you the pattern to use when you're building it. Instead of doing what I'm doing and stumbling through this. Eyeballing it. Yeah, that's the idea. I'm eyeballing it. So we're going to do that pattern again. Okay, we end this side with 4, but we start off on this side with 5, and then 7, and then 4. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to go diagonally by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 4. So put one on the edge here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And we're just going to do that one last segment, I think, and that's it. Then we can fill this all in. And then we're going to come back into this center ring and go straight up and have a dome on top. I just have to count how high that is. And then we got to put the sails. If you've ever seen a windmill, the arms of the windmill, we got to put that on. So this might be going to next Monday. This might be pushing into next Monday. Now the other thing is, I've gotten away from my trident farm, but the whole idea for that farm was to be around the fishery that produces ink sacs, and I needed to dye wool black to make a model of Gargamel from Smurfs. And since I'm over here, I have black sheep over by my wood farm, and every time I go over there, they're producing black wool. We can actually see that next time I go over. I'll show you. Just making sure I got all that wood. I chopped a lot of wood, and I want to make sure I got it. That's a point I want to make as well. You don't have to just dye wool. You can simply dye the sheep. And when they produce wool, or when you cut the wool off of them, it'll be that color. Very convenient. Or if you take a name tag, print the name Jeb, J-E-B, on the name tag, put that on a sheep, and it will constantly change colors of the rainbow. It's amazing. Jeb, I believe, is in reference to one of the developers of Minecraft. And one of the when you start playing Minecraft, you start to find out all the little idiosyncrasies of the game, all the nostalgia, and you'll appreciate the game a lot more. All right, trying to figure out where I think this is where we left off. So we're going to come out by 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then across by 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I gotta clean this up. And then you come out over here by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I gotta clean this up. If I can, because there's stuff already here when I was doing this. You're just trying to put the stuff on a diagonal. That's all you're doing. Like that. Now I'll go up top and see if it blends. We gotta see if it blends. We gotta make a blend like Blender. Oops, I used the wrong scaffolding. It's not 100%, but I can work with this. I appreciate this. This is not bad. Hopefully when I fill this in, it's not going to exaggerate if it's wrong. Usually that's what happens. If you do something wrong and you add more wood to it or whatever, any of the blocks, it really shows, it exaggerates the mistake. Hopefully we're not going to run into that problem. Now, technically, it's up to you. You're the one building this. It's going to be your world. But if you want to save the amount of wood to build any floor, you can use half slabs. You could do that. But because from what I'm seeing in the image, I don't want to see, like if I use half slabs, there'll be a little indentation underneath, and I don't want to see that. So I'm not going to do that. I might change my mind once I start filling this in and I run out of wood. I might change my mind, but let's see. Let's just see. So if you actually want to see it right now, what I'm doing, just go over to Google, type in Abadorian, Abadorian, Baron, Baron, windmill. Type that in, and Minecraft, and you'll see this windmill I'm building. It's cylindrical and has a dome on top. It's really, really interesting, the shape. I've seen other windmill builds, and I mean, they're all good, but this is the first one I've seen that really accents what a windmill does because if you can imagine sails on a sailboat, right? The sails is what is the engine of the sailboat. Well, the arms of this windmill is like the sails of a sailboat, and inside the so let's say the arms are out here, and it's propelled by sails. There's sails on the arm, just like masts on a ship, and there's a arm inside that connects the arms out here, and the arm goes inside into a um, um, cogs on a wheel inside. So there's these cogs like if you look at a clock, you have those little, the wheels with the teeth on it, cogs. And my brain right now, I can't think of the words to say. And so that arm connects to those cogs, which connects to a giant stone, a vertical stone wheel. And as this the arms turn, it turns the stone wheel, and the stone wheel will actually rotate over another cylindrical tabletop that has nothing but wheat kernels um, on the stone table, and it basically grinds the wheat into flour, and that's what most windmill design is for uh, mashing wheat. And so Holland has fields of wheat surrounding the windmill and flowers too. Um, but the idea is there's a deck on this build, on this model. There's a deck, just like a deck of a ship, which is like emulating what this thing is coming from, like the idea of a ship and sails. And some of these windmills, they actually rotate in the wind. So as the wind, if the wind's coming from this direction, it's going to face this way. If the wind's coming from that direction, it's going to face that way. The actual windmill, the physical windmill, the platform, it rotates. It's an amazing feat of engineering from a time where modernization wasn't really available at that time, and people had to use what was available to engineers had to use what was available to them at the time, and this was one of the big inventions at the time that people used. And I think it's not just Holland and Netherlands that the concept of a windmill was used. It goes to a lot of different countries use this concept and using the power of the wind. Good stuff. And we do it today to generate electricity. Now we don't have to fill the inside of this in. We're just going up to the diameter of the circle. We can decide later if we're going to fill it in or not, but the idea is to simply cover. I can actually save wood by not going over top of this, because you're not going to see it from the. Oh, yeah, you are going to see that. But I mean, you don't have to cover that. You can save wood that way. Later on, if you want to fill this in, now you can actually use the half slabs now because you're not going to see it from the outside, or even well, you might see it if it's going over the ceiling, but that's not a big deal. Okay, that stays on out there because there's a hole. Let's see. That's what I should do is like a little. It's kind of like painting, painting with in the lines. That kind of concept. And then fill it in. Now, if you're new to Minecraft, you don't have to build in this manner. You can actually go into what they call creative mode. Creative mode, there is no survival at all, kind of like what I'm doing. But you have the ability to move your character um, in any direction, three-dimensional direction. You can go up, down without using scaffolding or anything like that. You can place the blocks, you can hover in the air, all kinds of stuff. Just that's how most creators make maps and stuff, doing that fashion of building. It's like an editor, like a Minecraft editor. But I like doing this because I like doing it in survival too. But the idea is I got to acquire the materials on my own. Where in creative mode, it's all any materials available to you. You just go into your inventory and it's there. It's like a library of blocks that you can use. You can make models, do whatever you want. You don't have to do it in this fashion, which takes a while. I appreciate doing this because it's almost like the real world where you have to plan um, your supplies. You have to plan what's going to be involved in building, and then you have to acquire it on top of it. And then you have to figure out, well, if I'm going to, acquire these materials, what can I do in the interim? Can I get like two birds with one stone idea? What else can I do, like multitasking? And it teaches you time management, which is I'm 57 years old. I still don't understand the concept or I appreciate the concept that well, but time management is a very important life lesson to understand. Because once you understand time management, how to handle your own time, scheduling, how to schedule your time, the more things you can accomplish in a very short time. And the better you get at it, or juggling your chores, the better you get stuff accomplished. And it helps with thinking too, logical thinking as well. And if you run into a problem, how to overcome it, that kind of thing. It's interesting talking about that, like, almost like logistics, taking a inventory of what you need to get done, materials you need, and a lot of early video game developers, they actually used balance sheets from like Google balance sheets or Microsoft balance sheets to create their games, to keep track of all the minutia to make the game. They kept balance sheets. Even Star Wars, I think, did it too. A lot of the effects guys, they use these balance sheets to figure out, all the different parts they need to make the movies, to make video games, to keep track of stuff, inventory. What I should have done too, since I was already up here, I could have added the those little arms that come out to support this deck with the dark oak, but I didn't want to stop to chop up some dark oak. I have a little bit of it right now. That's why I'm saying I think this is going to go until next week, building this windmill. Again, what I would like to do, I'll show you towards the end of the stream. I have a giant bridge that connects two areas of this location, and I would love to have a road connecting that bridge to here. If you ever played World of Warcraft, that's how that world is all interconnected, is by roads. It's really fascinating. And you can make maps in Minecraft, and that way you can understand how to get around in your world. You can use those in Bedrock Edition. You can use those same maps. It parallels the overworld in the Nether, so you can travel in the Nether using overworld maps. And but that's only in Bedrock. They don't do that in Java. Java, they don't have that ability, I don't think. Um, what else I was going to say? I was going to say, see, I get lost in my train of thought. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's take a look from out here and see what it looks like. So that's the oh, it's dark. That's the idea. Um, and then I'm going to build another cylindrical section inside of that deck and go up. I don't know, a little bit taller than that section, and then another section on top of that, and then a dome, and then I got to make the arms of the windmill. What I was talking about, the dark oak. This is dark oak, and it's an arm that comes up. I have to make this double, one there and one there, going up a column, and then the arm comes out and supports, gives the illusion of supporting that deck. and I believe that's all over um, each section out here. Each linear section has to have an arm like that. I'm loving these horses out here, man. I'm gonna have a big horse farm. That's for sure. It's a flower biome that this is located inside of. All right, we got okay, just enough. Just enough. Here's the. All right, that's spruce. Yeah, I don't have any dark oak. I'm gonna have to get some dark oak. Oh, there's some right there. Um, I think what I'm going to start doing, I've learned to use Spotify as I play without streaming, and I think I'm going to start finding some non-copyrighted music to play as I'm building. So this way, you guys, it doesn't make the doesn't make the stream as dry as sometimes as it gets. Uh, I make the excuse a lot of times saying that I don't have a PC to stream and don't have the benefits of OBS, which a lot of streamers use, where you can have music playing and you can see the chat, all this stuff. And I use that. I kind of use that as a crutch, but I do have Spotify. I could put background music. I just got to make sure I'm using non-copyrighted music in the background. Because I used to do art streams. Well, I did one art stream, and I had music in the background. But actually, in that, I was doing that off my laptop, and I was using OBS. But the funny thing of it is I can't use OBS on my laptop when I'm playing Minecraft if my OBS freezes up. I can do it with my art streams, but I'm doing my art on my iPad and streaming from my laptop. So somehow that works. All right, finally, let's see what it looks like from above, and then we'll add the dark oak to it. That is looking very circular. Very, very circular. I'm happy. This will work for me. And we just got, I think this is going to be as tall, this might be as tall as I want for the windmill itself. And like I said, it's got to come back in and then make the tower from there. That scaffolding might be the height of the windmill. Let me look from the outside. That looks a little short. That looks a little, looks a little short. I'm going to be putting a dome on top though too. I'll have to look at the video. Let me see. I have the video here. Let me just double check. It's on the what's that? Destructive Burn, one word, on YouTube, and it's their build. Let me see if I can pull it up again. One more second, guys. Just one more second. Too much stuff flipping on my phone. Every time I try to push a button, it's moving faster than what I'm trying to see. It could be. It looks like there's one, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I shouldn't say he. Destructive Burn looks like they put in 5 tiers, like a cake. It's interesting. 5 tiers that go up that are about one, two. Looks like it's about almost 5 blocks high, just like this, just like the size of that. And as it goes up, it shrinks. It goes inwards towards the top, and then there's a dome on top of it. I love these horses. Hey, buddy. Got to start adding a lot of torches and stuff out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the dark oak underneath here, and I'm going to call it a stream. We'll try to finish this up Monday next week. So let's pop in the regular oak and grab the dark oak. See how much we can add to this. It's got to come out. I don't know if that's a step or just regular blocks. I'm trying to go back underneath to see what that looks like underneath. Wow, he actually did like hot air balloons too. The Destructive Burn, they did hot air balloons too. It's really cool. Yeah, it looks like stairs. This is where it's going to be a little bit of an issue because I want to run out of wood really fast when I add the stairs. Let me see if I can get away with maybe 12. See how that works out. This is where scaffolding comes in really handy when you're building stuff like this. Again, I'm not following any set pattern. I'm just guessing at this. Yeah, I don't want to go. Let me see how far he goes out. He doesn't really go out that far. Oh, he does on the. Oh, that's so weird. He has like. He has multiple arms. Oh, this one does actually goes all the way out to the edge. Wow, and the outer edge has dark oak too. Oh no. Yeah, the outer edge has dark oak just like that. Whoa. Okay. So I think that's it right there. And then that, and then just keep coming back in till you reach, till you go downwards. So I'm gonna have to cut that. That's a lot of dark oak. Then you got to fill that gap in inside there. Is that good enough of an arc? I think that looks pretty good. Should I come one more? Yeah, it's probably better. So you get that type of like support on that underneath. Then you just got to fill the rest of it in. Like that. And then there's a column behind, comes all the way up. Like that. And that's what the arms should look like on all sides. Like that. Probably could add one more stair. Like that. And then I got to do that for every side. like that. But he has dark oak on the edge, just like that, but it's on the outer edge here. And it looks like he's using a full block and then like a dark oak fence and then a dark oak slab. Interestingly, with pine fence also, and then the slab. But yep. So I'm going to have to, let me see here, block the goods. I'm going to need that stone. I thought I had stone here. Oh, maybe it's, yeah. I try to use the stone bricks, but I'm wasting enough time today as it is. I'm really trying to manage my time better, but you see what happens as you go along. So I got to find the center. So since this is 11, so if you count 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth one would be the center. And you have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the dark oak will come up from here all the way up. Same thing. And you just got to work your way out. Let me see where it starts. I think it's like, what, the second? 1, 2, the third block is where you add the stair. So 1, 2, 3. Oop. Oop. That's how you put the crosshair on the block. It's hard to see out anymore. Torches. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's it. You just keep working your way out. You have to get more blocks and then keep going out just like we did on the other side. That'll be for Monday. So let's see if I can find you guys a raid. And we'll be back here on Monday. Let me come out here. I'll do a quick fly around. How's that? And that way I can do a clip. Oh, I can't do a clip. I probably can't even do a raid. My laptop just decided to go to sleep, and I can't wake it up fast enough. So, but let me at least give you guys a little run around so you can see. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't make these giant builds because it eats up a lot of time. But way I look at it is like, if I'm going to invest my time building something, I want to make something that lasts and it's impressive and memorable. So that's the beginning. That's the beginning of what's going to look like. I'm still undecided where I'm going to put the sails. One part of me says do it on the water side, because that'd be a neat thing to see as you're riding a boat on the water and coming up here and you see the sails. But I'm going to have a roadway that goes from the back of this that connects to World Spawn, which is over here. And there's a bridge. Here's my flying ship. There's a bridge over here that I made a couple years ago on Thanksgiving using a flying basalt generator. And this connects a village over here, which there's a mountainside and there's an ancient city over here. Fly over to the village. It takes a while for my Xbox to render. Okay, so here's the village. This is already here when I spawned into the world. And an ancient city is under this mountain here that I'm flying over. There's an ancient city underneath. And so what I'm hoping to do is connect that bridge to this area and that portal, this broken portal. You got this bridge, you got our world over here, and then have this road come out through here and then out that way to the windmill. And not only connect to here, but also have this road cross the water with a smaller bridge, and then out this way is another village. I'll show you that if I can fly out there. There's a village out here. Watch it make a liar out of me. Shoot. I don't know how far. Yeah, here it is. So then this is where I first got my sniffers. I forget which update the sniffers were from. There's these like dinosaur type creatures that sniff out flowers or seeds. It's these guys here. These were the first sniffers in my world. And so this village is not too far from World Spawn, so I'm hoping there's one of the flowers there. And make a roadway that connects here to over to the windmill, then over to World Spawn. Then over there is the North Pole City, is out there. In that ice biome is the North Pole City from Polar Express. So I do have a couple of maps already made up. This new update, Spring to Life, you can go to a cartographer and they have maps that you can buy that shows villages that are nearby to that cartographer. Oops, okay. I'm trying to find a bid because I left my bid back over there. Okay, we can hang out with this dude. Okay, that came totally wrong. All right, sorry, dude. And but we'll come back here Monday, and like I said, my laptop's went to sleep, so I can't do a raid or anything like that, or a clip or whatever. So we'll just leave it like that, and leave it with Steve. Let me pop off my helmet. You guys have a great Wednesday. We will be back here Friday for my hardcore world. Will be Friday, and that's world number 12. Hopefully 12 is a magic number. Hopefully I can exist longer in that world. And we'll be back here Monday to finish this windmill. You guys have a good Wednesday. Please check out my YouTube channel, The Big Red 1967. It's all one word. And I have a community tab on that YouTube channel that has a link in the post. You'll see a link for my Discord and a link for my world download. This world's download. So please check them out. If there's any problems with the links or whatever, let me know. I'll update them. Please share and like. Check out the videos. Please let other people know. Let them know on your social media that I'm actually I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please get the word out there, guys. Like Stone Mountain 64 always says on his stream, dream work makes the team work, or teamwork makes the dream work. So you guys have a good Wednesday. I will see you back here Friday. And thanks again. Have a good Wednesday.